Well, welcome back to another week of the banjo here. Thanks for tuning in again. This week we're going to go over some pretty fundamental stuff. This is all about pentatonic scales. Pentatonic scales are 5-note scales. They involve the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 of your scale. And what I mean by that is if we're in the key of G, as we, let's be honest, fundamentally are on the banjo most of the time, that's going to be our G, A, B, D, and E. And then we go back up to our octave, right? So pentatonics are they're ubiquitous in a lot of styles of music. A lot of these fiddle tunes are based around pentatonic scales. So getting these under your fingers is really going to give you a roadmap to how you can figure out a lot of major and minor tunes without going straight into crazy major scale land, right? So let's start with like a root position pentatonic, G major pentatonic here. So we're going to start on the 5th fret of the 4th string. We're going to get that G note on the 4th string here, right? And you can use whatever right hand fingers you want. We're not going to be doing this super fast, so technique is not so much a thing here. So we've got G, and then we come up to the 7th fret, and that'll be our A, right? You get that with your pinky at the left hand. Then we're going to do 4th fret of the 3rd string, that's our B. Then we skip right over C, and we're going to play that 7th fret of the 3rd string, that's our D. And then I just kind of bar across with my index finger these last two notes here to come up to that octave. So we got E on the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and then G, 5th fret of the 1st string. All right, let's move up. So starting on our A here, we've got the 7th fret of the 4th string going to the 9th fret. And then we're going to do 7 to 9 on the 3rd string also. And then we've got our G note here on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. And then 7, 9 again. You can kind of see this is almost, it kind of feels like a D-shaped chord. It's kind of built out of that box there. Okay, next one up, we're gonna move our index finger up to that 9th fret of the 4th string. This is kind of, it's similar to our last shape. We're just kind of stretching it a little bit more. So we've got 9 to 12 and 9 to 12 on that 4th and 3rd string. 9, 12, 9, 12. That's our B, D, E, G. We're gonna get that 10th fret of the 2nd string. That's our A. And then our 9, 12 again on the 1st string. So you can see how that's very similar to this last shape, right? Okay, moving up again. This one I kind of think of almost like an E minor shape up here. But we're going to go from 12. We go 12 to 14 on the 4th string. And then 12 to 14 on the 3rd string. And then I'm going to bar across here for the 12 and 12 of the 1st and 2nd string. And then you can get that 14th fret. Okay, and then our last shape that we're going to go over here up until it just cycles over again, right? Bring your index finger up to that 14th fret, that E note on the 4th string. And then we're going to go 14 to 17, E to G there. It'll be 14 to 16. And then we're going to get that 15th fret of the 2nd string. And then 14 to 17 on the 1st fret too, or on the 1st string, sorry. And then it just starts over again up here. Now, something that you can do when you're further up the neck, once you've come past this fifth string peg here, is you can start working in these shapes by fretting the fifth string. So any place that you would have either of these notes on the first string, it's gonna mirror on your first string. So you know, you could play this E minor, you kind of like. You can play off of this fifth string, and there's a common like Béla and Tony Trischka sequence kind of like that they do. That's built out of these major pentatonic shapes using that fifth string as kind of a wall to bounce across. So we've got. You know, they do, and they take it all sorts of places on the neck. Yeah. So you can play around with those shapes, and you know, once you get these 5 shapes down, it's kind of a nicer way to learn these major scales. If you want to fill in the notes between them, you don't have to work necessarily out of these like, okay, G, A, B, C, D. You can kind of work more in, so G, and then we are going to move up to A, right? You can fill in these notes in between the spots where, you know, where they would be, using these pentatonic boxes as kind of guides, right? Instead of having 7 different shapes to memorize, you're only going to be working with 5. I might do a video on that. Don't worry about that too much right now. Before I jabber on too much longer, I want to touch on minor pentatonic scales too, because there's a lot of that in bluegrass. There's a lot of that in just music in general. So we worked with the major pentatonic first, right? The cool thing that you can do is you can just build these same shapes, but you're going to be starting with your flat 3. And so what I mean by that is where our root position, pentatonic position here. If we take that up to B flat, which is the 3rd scale degree of G, right? G, A, B. So B flat is our flat 3rd, right? Find that B flat on your 4th string. Now it kind of sounds like a major pentatonic in this context, right? But over G, so it's going to be those same shapes. We're just kind of starting in a different spot. So let's just go over in G, right? So in G, we're going to have that last position that we do is going to start on G. So we've got G, B flat, C, D, F, G. And we can come up and we can grab that B flat up here too. So what would that be? That would be our 1, right? That's our flat 3, B flat. C is our 4. D is our 5. And F natural, that's going to be our flat 7, right? And then we're back up to G. And if you want to get really bluesy with it, you can add in this C sharp. So that's always a fun one to screw around with a little bit. Okay, so then we just move up, and it's essentially like we're playing B major pentatonic now. So that's kind of our root position chord when we're playing major stuff, just starting on this B flat note, right? So B flat, C, D, F, G, B flat, and C. And you can get that C sharp in there too. You can reach up for that one. All right, moving up again. This is going to be kind of that box shape that we worked with over our first inversion G chord, right? Except we're doing it over a B flat. And if we want to differentiate it, we can get that C sharp in there too. So C, C sharp, B flat, F, G, B flat, C, C sharp, D. Moving right along, we've got, okay, so this is going to be that stretched box position, just starting at the 12th fret instead. So we've got, what is this, 12, 15, 12, 15 on the 4th and 3rd string. We got that one singular 13 on the 2nd string. And then 12, 15 on the 1st string. And then so this is our second to last shape here. We've got 15 to 17, 15 to 17 on the 4th and 3rd string. And then we've got our 15 on the 2nd string, and then 15 to 17 on the 1st string there. And you can screw around with that. So that C sharp's going to be here. That's going to be that what would that be? That's the 18th fret of the 3rd string up here. You can kind of bend with that. I'm going to do that down here so you can kind of see it a little bit better, but so you can screw around with that by bending it as well. And then we're just back up the octave now. And you can do the same thing with this. You can kind of work with these forward roll. One last thing, I'll sign off after that, but there's more than a few Bill Keith breaks that feature this, and I thought it was kind of fun and it'd be worth mentioning here. He uses this melodic position. We've got the 7th fret of the 4th string, 4th fret of the 3rd, 5th fret of the 2nd string, and then 7th fret of the 1st string. And then he just moves it all up 1 fret to get that minor pentatonic position. It's, it's virtually the same thing that you're doing with your right hand. He's just moving the entire position up 1 fret, and he goes from major to minor. So that's a fun little Bill Keith bit in there. Those are your major and minor pentatonic scales. Like everything, practice this stuff with a mind towards using it musically. Use it as a roadmap. Don't use this as like, a way to drill and just be able to recite pentatonics. What I really, my hope for you is that this will unlock some of these shapes just so you get an idea for where these musical phrases come from and how they might lay out on the neck in more than a few different ways. So there we go. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Hopefully this will not be a super long video, but I'll come up with some tabs. I'll have those on the website, and I'll get those linked below in the description for you. If you liked this, please leave me a like. If you have liked a few of my videos and maybe you want to see some more of it, consider subscribing to me. Be sure and hit that bell icon when you hit the subscribe, just so you know when I've got new stuff coming out. And otherwise, thank you again. I guess I'll probably see you guys next week.